You can teach yourself way more than you ever thought possible by creating your own university courses. Hey, welcome to Park Notes. I'm Parker Sedicase. I'm a graduate student in philosophy, and this is a channel where I help you study and think more deeply. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can teach yourself more than you ever thought possible through creating your own university-style courses. So I'm going to show you how you can make your own syllabus, find a cohort of like-minded people to discuss ideas with and learn together with, and most importantly, I'm going to show you how you can find the content to study in your own university-style course. Both written content like papers and books, as well as lecture material from professors and thinkers. So make sure you watch the full video so you can learn all the ins and outs of creating your own university-style course in order to teach yourself more than you ever thought possible. Now, before we jump in, I want to talk a little bit about the content. We're going to get into that later, but for now, I have to mention this awesome, free and easy way to find content material. That is Brilliant. Now, Brilliant is sponsoring this video, and they are the perfect sponsor for creating your own university-style course. Brilliant is the best way to learn math, data science, and computer science, all interactively. There are thousands of lessons from basic topics to advanced topics, and there's new ones added every single month. And this fits so perfectly with creating your own university-style course because the content is customizable to fit your needs. You decide when you're going to start going through these Brilliant courses, so you're able to take these courses at your own pace and solve problems as you go. So right now I'm taking a course called Thinking in Code. Here's the course description. Build solid foundations for computational problem solving. This is huge for me because I'm studying the philosophy of artificial intelligence, and all the folks over on the computer science side of things are obsessed with computation. So Brilliant's Thinking in Code course is amazing for helping me get clear on computational thinking. This will help me converse with computer science folks and talk about the philosophy of artificial intelligence. But I can't help myself. They also came out with another course called How LLMs Work, How Large Language Models Work. And again, I'm studying the philosophy of artificial intelligence. This course is helping me get clear on how large language models like ChatGPT, GPT-4, how they actually work. What is autoregressive text generation? That's a huge, big, scary word, but Brilliant's helping me get clear on it. I love these guys. So in the content section of this video, I'll talk a little bit more about Brilliant and how you can use this tool as the content in your own university-style course or in conjunction with other YouTube videos and stuff like that. But for now, I'm so excited to share with you guys that you can get started free with Brilliant for 30 days, and the first 200 get 20% off an annual plan. That's insane. Make sure you're one of the first 200 to sign up. Just go to brilliant.org/parknotes. That's brilliant.org/parknotes. You can find the link in the description. So as you can tell, I'm super excited about this. Let's jump in even deeper to the ins and outs on creating your own university-style course. So this is just a field notes notebook. You can find the link in the description if you want to grab one of these. And inside I have my outline for how you can create your own university courses in order to teach yourself more than you ever thought possible. Once you have the concept, the steps are pretty easy. They're pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to go through them anyways so that none of us are lost and all of us feel confident creating our own university courses. So before we dive in on the nitty-gritty details, I want to tell you a little bit about my story so you can see this does actually work and, I don't know, boost my credibility for those who are not convinced yet. I realized that I loved philosophy after my junior year of college, and by then it was too late to change majors, so if I wanted to learn philosophy, I was going to have to teach it to myself. Luckily, I found this thing called iTunes U. Now, I don't think iTunes U exists anymore, but it was this place where universities could upload lectures from their professors, and folks online could download those lectures and use them. They could take the courses for free. I found this course on the history of Western philosophy by Arthur Holmes, who I found out later is an absolute legend in philosophy. But he had this series of like 80 lectures, each of which was something like an hour long. So it was like 80 hours of Intro to Philosophy.
We have really two philosophical lines of thought in accounting for the origin of Greek philosophy here. One that focuses simply on reflection about the physical cosmos, and the other about reflection on the moral order which they believed to exist in the processes of nature.
So I started developing my own history of philosophy course, appropriating those lectures from Art Holmes, and I scheduled out the whole course in order to go through all of the lectures. Now, it ended up taking me like 2 semesters because that's a lot of videos to watch, and sometimes I would skip my own exercise science classes in order to double down on a couple different videos. So I didn't stay super strict on the regiment, but I still had something in place in order to help me go through all the videos. When it came to reading, I had several friends who were in grad school. I asked them how many pages they read each week. 3 or 4 of them said they read something like 200 to 300 pages every week. So I said, well, that's going to be my goal. I'll read 200 to 300 pages of philosophy as I'm following along with this Art Holmes series. And that was the start of my own self-study, my own autodidactic journey, where I learned how to create my own university courses. I continued on as an autodidact, as a self-learner, a self-teacher for about 5 years, and then I entered grad school myself. And by the time I was actually enrolled in grad school, I was already an expert in studying. So because I taught myself how to make my own curriculum, I was able to take someone else's curriculum and just run with it. I had already developed very good habits of studying at the master's level. Now, I've been in grad school for about 11 semesters. People keep giving me free master's degrees, so I'm going to keep taking them. But even in official academic grad school, I continue to make my own courses. There are these things called guided readings. A guided reading is just a course that you make up, you pitch it to a professor, and you say, hey, will you be my professor for this course I just invented? Oftentimes, they'll give you book recommendations, but there's a lot of self-study required. You have to tell the professor, here's what I want to study. Here are some books that I want to read. Here's a paper that I might consider writing. What do you think? And if you give them a good enough proposal, they will be your chair or your director of your guided study. Now, I love guided studies because it's an opportunity for me to do research on things that really, really matter to me and get master's level credit for it. So far, I've developed my own guided reading courses on the philosophy of mind, the philosophy of AI, my own master's thesis on the God-world relation, that is, that God interacts with the world like an author interacts with their story, and the philosophy and theology of Cornelius Van Til and C.S. Lewis. So I love self-study, and I think at the end of the day, all learning comes down to some form of self-study. The difference between being inside the academy and outside the academy is the degree to which you have outside resources that help you with your self-study. So that's enough about me. Let's jump into some details on how you can create your own university course. So first things first, you have to pick the topic that you want to study. What are you interested in? What do you want to learn about? For me, I'm a philosophy nerd. I love philosophy. I just only want to read philosophy all day long. Even the sci-fi that I read has to be philosophical. But a lot of you are not philosophy nerds. What are you interested in? If you were going to make your own university course, what topic would you want it to be on? Leave me a comment because I actually want to hear from you guys, but also write this down for yourself. What do you want to know? What do you want to learn? It doesn't have to be dorky like in an academic way. Maybe it's dorky like, hey, I want to learn everything about memes. What's the origin of memes? What's that word mean? What's the etymology of the word? Did it come from Richard Dawkins? Is that the same kind of like meme thing? That was his big book back in the day. What were the OG memes and how did they come about? What's that relation between 4chan and meme generation? Maybe throw in something about Velociraptor because Velociraptor is the coolest meme in the world. I don't know. You come up with your topic and let me know in the comments because I want to hear from you guys. But that's number one. You got to get clear. What do I want to study? Secondly, and this is important for scheduling, how many credits do you want this to be? Now, there's not real credits here, so don't get too twisted about that, but how much do you want to study? Let's say this is going to be a 3 credit hour class. That means you can split the lecture time into 2 hour-and-a-half segments. Maybe Monday morning, you watch a lecture for an hour and a half, and then Wednesday morning, you watch another lecture for an hour and a half, or you finish that first one if it was a 3-hour lecture. But you can write down, I want this to be 3 credits or 4 credits, whatever. Yes, it's kind of weird, but scheduling your course time is going to be really important. And so even if it's a little bit cringe or weird, show yourself that you're taking it seriously. Next up, you're going to create a course description. You've already picked your topic, but what are you going to achieve in this course? If you were pitching this to a university, how would you describe this course? Here, you're inventing your own syllabus for your own fictitious university course. You can get all sorts of nerdy with this. Maybe if I were going to name my fictitious university, I'd call it Park Notes U. And then when I was scheduling it on my calendar, I would block out a time. Nope, this is a Park Notes U segment. I can't plan any meetings there. I have class. Just another way to show yourself how important you're taking your own self-learning. Now, in your course description, in your syllabus, you're also going to list what you're going to achieve. I suggest that you actually write some papers. This is a great way of catalyzing ideas that you've learned and synthesizing them into your own ideas. Now, this is a fictitious university, so no one's going to be like actually grading these, who's going to read them, whatever. You can write them just on a Word document yourself, or maybe write them in a journal or notebook, but here's a place where I'd actually recommend using digital over analog. I would type up a actual digital paper. I would have you write 2 papers. One is a précis and one is a final paper. A straight précis is just, here are the facts, here's what the author is arguing, step by step. I cut out all the fluff. Maybe I had to rearrange some stuff in order to get the argument in perfect logical form, but here's what's up, here's my précis. But I've also been doing kind of a mixed précis in my graduate studies, where 2/3 of the précis is the argument from the paper and 1/3 is my own reflection or my own pushback or my own counter arguments. You can choose either one, and it doesn't matter. This is your university course. You're the professor. If you're not a philosophy student, maybe you do a book review. You're going to read a book and you write a 1,000-word book review. Keep it tight, keep it concise. Here's what the book was about. Here are the main themes, the main points. Here's how the author supported them. And here's my reflection on it. Very brief. If you guys are interested in hearing more about like précis and book reviews, I can do videos on those. Just let me know in the comments. Now, maybe you don't want to do all this work for nothing, so you start a blog or you start a Substack and you let your friends subscribe to your Substack, or you send your blog to your Facebook or to a Facebook group and you want to get thoughts on it. That's a great way to take your writing seriously. Maybe you tell someone you're writing this paper and that they should expect it. And that's a good way to give yourself some stress, some positive stress, which a lot of us need to actually write papers in the first place. So even though you've just created your own university and you're the sole student and the dean and the professor and everything, you can still incorporate other people into your learning experience to help you learn more and maybe even to share some knowledge with them. So the next step, you need to determine, what are you going to read? Now, like I said, when I was just a pure autodidact, lone gunning it by myself outside the academy, I asked my friends who were in the academy, what books are you reading? So a lot of times I'd ask them for their syllabi and I would read the same books that they were reading. So that's one way to do it. Ask someone who's in school, what books do they recommend or what books are their professors having them read? Another way to do it is to join a subreddit or a Discord channel on the topic that you want to study and asking for a top 10 list. Hey, what books should I know if I'm studying economics? What books should an economics undergrad know and have read? What are the main papers that a philosophy undergrad ought to have read in their 4 years? Give me the top 10. And a lot of know-it-alls out there are more than happy to give you their list to show you how much they know. And that's a win-win. They get to show off and you get to have free knowledge. So take to Twitter, take to Facebook groups, take to Discord, take to Subreddit. I don't know, maybe you can find something on Instagram, but you can use social media in a good way. This is one of the few good ways. Book recommendations, paper recommendations. Crowdsource the required reading for your university course. Now, what about lectures? What are you going to watch? What are you going to listen to in order to take notes? I'm going to say YouTube. There are tons and tons of lectures that professors have put on YouTube. You need to go and find those. There are also lots of podcast episodes where an author of a paper that you've been recommended might be talking with someone about that very paper. So go and search the authors of your required reading to see if they have lectures or podcast episodes on YouTube. When you find YouTube videos that will serve as the content for your lecture series, just create a playlist. ParkNotes University, Philosophy of AI course, semester 1, whatever. That's your playlist. And you can even order your playlist so that they play in the order that you want to study. A great place to start if you're studying any kind of philosophy type stuff is to go over to my Parker's Pensies channel. It's the YouTube version of my podcast, and I have all sorts of themed playlists for my podcast episodes. So I have philosophy of mind, I have AI, I have just raw philosophy. There's playlists there already pre-made for you. So create your own lecture series. Go and find YouTube videos that correspond to your course description. Okay, so like I said in the intro, Brilliant is an amazing way to find content for your university-style course. Brilliant offers the content of the course as well as interactive problem solving along the way. So if your goal is to learn math or data science or computer science, then you really should add Brilliant into the mix. Now, I love philosophy, but I need a lot of help learning the computer science side of the philosophy of artificial intelligence. And as I said earlier, Brilliant has been so beneficial to me. So you can use Brilliant as the main content for your own university course, or you can use it in conjunction with YouTube playlists and lectures from YouTube as well. And again, make sure you're one of the first 200 people from my audience to sign up for Brilliant, and you get 20% off an annual subscription. It's insane. So let's keep moving. We're not done yet. We still need discussions. One of the best things about going to university is discussing the course material with other students before and after class. So here again, you're gonna take to Discord and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube comment sections, your WordPress or your Substack comment section, and you're going to talk with people about the ideas that you're learning. Hey, Andy Clark said this about computation. What do you guys think about that? Go find people to discuss these ideas with, just like a university student would discuss these ideas with other students. You can create your own cohort. Likewise, you can also invite someone else to take this course with you. Don't charge them any money. It's not accredited. That's weird. But just say, hey, I came up with this curriculum. I know this is something that you're also interested in. Would you want to take this course with me? It's like a more in-depth book club. And then find some time to discuss the ideas with them. Now, one of the benefits of a university course is that they have scheduled times on Monday and Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Night classes, morning classes, middle of the day. They have set times where you're supposed to go and learn from a professor. So mimic that. Plan out the stretch of time that this course is going to last from August to November or whenever. You need an end date so you know when your papers are due. And because that's how our minds work, we need to have a start and end time, or we're going to feel like Sisyphus just pushing a rock up the hill and falling down on us every single day. But you also need weekly meeting times. When am I going to watch these lectures, and when am I going to read these books? So plan a time to watch the lectures, to watch the playlist that you've created for yourself, and plan a time for reading. Map out a reading schedule. I have this many pages. I've added up all the pages that I need to read for the books and the articles that I've assigned myself. And I have this many weeks to read these things, so read this many pages per week in order to stay on track. You're also going to want to take notes. I have a notebook dedicated to YouTube lectures and podcasts. I found that if I don't take notes while listening, I'm not going to remember as well. So I have a bunch of videos on how to take notes and create marginalia for when you're reading, how to annotate books. So if you want to learn how to do that, check out the rest of my videos. I really like these Moleskine extra large notebooks. These are grid ones. I really like these for taking notes, or these Loic Term 1917. And I like the hardcover for the Loic Term and the soft cover for the Moleskine. The Loic Term have numbered pages, which really comes in handy when you're studying for like a quiz or a test, or if you're looking for a particular topic, you can easily make an index with the numbered pages. I'll leave the links in the description. You can find those there. So it's really just that simple. You can teach yourself way more than you ever thought possible, way more than you ever imagined, if you just organize your self-learning into your own university-style course. If you take your self-learning seriously, you can be a really good autodidact. And it's more knowledge than you ever thought possible, because it's not just 4 years of a university curriculum. This is the rest of your life, right? So we go through commencement at the end of our university programs, but commencement means begin. Now you're able to begin your education. You have the tools that you learned from the academy in order to go and study more. So just continue planning out your own self-learning, self-teaching, autodidact method, and there's no limit to the amount that you can learn. All right, so that's it. That's how you make a university-style course in order to teach yourself more than you ever thought possible. But I want to hear from you guys. What are you interested in? What kind of topics would you use this method to study? Leave me a comment. And if you learned something, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos on study habits and deep thinking philosophy. I'll catch you guys next time.